Now that The Last of Us Season 2 is about to wrap up, I think they have like 3 episodes left of that laborious show that nobody's enjoying watching, and it's interesting how Warner Brothers or HBO doesn't want to come forward with any of the viewing figures, and yeah, that's not even charting on, well, I don't think we have the Nielsen ratings quite yet, but on Luminate or any of the other sites, I haven't seen anything from Samba in regards to The Last of Us numbers. Yeah, everything after them coming out and saying, hey, our season 2 premiere was 6% more successful than our season 1 premiere. Well, fantastic. How about episode 2? Well, episode 3, episode 5. Okay, shut up. You get the point, okay? Eventually, Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann are going to have to go back to what at one point in time was their bread and butter, and that is making a video game. One that was announced at the Game Awards at the tail end of last year, and so far they've been very quiet about that, mostly because everybody has mocked that, and outside of a couple of bootlickers, nobody is defending this stuff because it seems so antiquated at this point in time. As a lot of people who are going through The Last of Us Season 2 are realizing that, holy shit, man, like we're really getting blasted in the face with some writing that feels completely and totally ripped out of like 2018, 2019, because yeah, that's when The Last of Us 2, that's when it was written, that's when it was being created, okay? Like it's got all of those old sensibilities that were trash at the time, but now they just seem so terribly out of date, and now they're 5 years out of date of being 5 years out of date. And something else that was also announced at the Game Awards was Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet has also been in development at Naughty Dog since 2020. Oh, great. So after they shipped The Last of Us Part 2 and then seeing everything that was going on during the Summer of Love, they decided to pour all of their malice and all of their cruelty into one defining game. And when this eventually does hit your shelf, bro, this is going to be the end of Naughty Dog, which sucks, man. Okay, because alongside BioWare, there was a point in time where you would see that little paw print on a box, and you knew that, well, not the one that you see right there, because I'm sure that there are many paw prints on that box alongside, traces of peanut butter. But no, on a game box, whether you're talking the Uncharted series, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, the original Crash Bandicoot series, that used to be a mark of quality, and now it is a mark of overpriced toilet paper. And so, instead of being excited about their upcoming game, really pushing it to something that, hey man, we've been really passionate about working on this stuff, and I know it's been a long time since we've released something, but we've had this cooking for a while, and we're really excited to get this in your hands. No, they're going on the defensive and the attack because they know it's going to be shit. They know it's going to be divisive because Neil Druckmann's magnum opus is being received for by another demographic as well as it was at the beginning. So Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet lead, says a Naughty Dog head Neil Druckmann has been bootcamping her about The Last of Us Part 2 backlash because, okay, cool. So we already could deduce that this was just going to be, for lack of a better term, just insufferable girl boss in space as opposed to insufferable girl boss in the post-apocalypse. I still remember that trailer. I've watched it a couple of times, mostly to, simply make the videos on it because I'm not excited about this game. I'm not going to be buying this game. I will not waste one moment of my free time engaging with anything Neil Druckmann affiliated because I kind of have a standard policy of not giving your money to people who outright despise you, and Neil Druckmann hates gamers. He lied about them, he antagonized them, and in an attempt to make his stupid little vanity project show more successful, yeah, he walked back his divisive and vitriolic comments like, Abby doesn't necessarily need to be all muscly, and perhaps Joel was right. No, man, you could go ahead and you could dismiss a lot of the backlash and scorn that you received for The Last of Us Part 2 because you ended up defiling and assassinating a bunch of beloved characters and making them into whatever the hell you're doing The Last of Us Part 2. There's not going to be a Last of Us Part 3. He's even alluded to that, but this is totally your creation. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, this is yours for the making. You can go ahead and sculpt these characters on whatever image you see fit. And apparently you see fit to have a bunch of product placement and somebody with a snooty and entitled disposition. Yeah, not exactly. an appealing proposition for a protagonist in a single-player experience, but according to the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet lead, Tati Gabrielle, part of her pre-production work on the upcoming Naughty Dog title has involved a history lesson from studio head Neil Druckmann regarding the backlash faced by The Last of Us Part 2 and its respective cast. Still have yet to see any of those receipts from any of that quote-unquote backlash that's out there. All we've got, is Neil's antagonistic posts, but we'll take his word for it, because Neil Druckmann would never lie, as given in order to help her weather the more extreme of her future critics. Bro, you're going to be shocked to see how well this game is going to sell, and by well, I mean extremely poorly. Gabrielle, who has thus far history, right, with PlayStation subsidiary, has included appearance as Braddock in the 2022 Uncharted movie and Nora in the HBO's Last of Us series. Spoke to details on her first video game role during the recent interview with Entertainment Weekly's Nick Romano. Set against the backdrop of Deep Space, Intergalactic stars Gabrielle as Jordan, a bounty hunter who, yes, after the crash landing on a planet, Seprinar, eventually has to find and overthrow her former leader of the former group that she was a part of, and we read the leaks before, and they look absolutely atrocious. But reflecting on her approach to portraying a Jordan, especially given how much of the departure it is from her usual roles in the medium and setting, a really strong and empowered woman, quite a departure. But this one's going to be in space, so that means it's different. The actress recalled, "Neil's been bootcamping me." What does that mean? However, more than just the game's lore or narrative, Gabrielle explained that Druckmann had instead been talking to her about the outrage level towards The Last of Us Part 2 over its creative choices. I know Troy Baker's experience. I know Ashley Johnson's experience, and I know Laura Bailey's experience. Can you illuminate us to what Troy Baker experienced, the voice of Joel, Ashley Johnson, the voice of Ellie, and Laura Bailey, the voice of Abby? That was the one who apparently received the most hate, but never seen any of it. So, what exactly are you boot camping her for? Reflecting on the backlash leveled towards both her and Jordan's character following Intergalactic's reveal, Gabrielle explained, "I got a lot of love, but there was a lot of hate over me being a woman." Yeah, sure it was. Me being a woman of color, me having my head shaved, and these things that I didn't even actually initially see. Really? I'm out of social media zeitgeist for that reason. That's fucking hilarious, actually, because, what was it? Right after the release of that trailer, not but a couple of days later, wasn't this you, Tati Gabrielle, who decided to post this meme, the fragile masculinity? Oh, there's Jordan right there, right next to the new Witcher. Oh, you're flipping off the camera. You mad, bro? You adding that caption? That's right there. It's just a little meme, right, guys? But once I did, she continued, Neil was like, ignore it. No matter what, me and you, we're gonna make something beautiful. No, we're gonna make something that we're proud of. Exactly, because Neil Druckmann's had a wonderful history, right, of just bringing the best out of women. Not like that evil Amy Hennig who used to be in charge of the writers' room at Naughty Dog, who brought you such great characters like Chloe and Nathan's ultimate love interest, whose name's escaping me. I'm a big fan of Chloe. I'm a big fan of Chloe ever since, her introduction in Uncharted 2 still lives rent-free in my head to this very day. It was a very foundational gaming memory for me. But yeah, that came from Amy Hennig, who is exceptionally talented at her job and has done an excellent job. But she is one of those rare examples of a woman writing a woman and it being quite good after all. And then you compare and contrast that with vocal male feminist Neil Druckmann, and he's brought you Abby, that thing. Oh God, I forget the name of, I don't know, Buckwheat from Uncharted 4. Yo, that character sucks so much ass. That was one of those first instances of there's something wrong going on over here, man. There's something a little bit off. It was either that or Wolfenstein 2 with its reveal trailer, where BJ Blazkowicz had to be saved by his pregnant wife and a black chick with the side shave. It's like, what are we doing here? Something seems a little bit off. I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the time because that was the mid 2010s when all of this stuff was still brand new. But yeah, as much as all of that stuff was new at the time, Uncharted 4, being subverted by an idiot, those freaks really haven't switched anything up and have driven the gaming industry into the fucking ground. But no, all their old tried, tested, and true tactics, that's gonna work. And 26 or 27, whenever this piece of shit ultimately drops. Her time with Romano drawing to a close. Gabrielle ultimately admitted to her inexperience with the medium and asserted, "This is a world, video games, that I've never stepped into before." And hey man, you're going to be an actress, you're going to be a voice actress, that's fine, okay? It would be nice if you had experience, like even Cate Blanchett, as ill-cast and wrong for the role that she was as Lilith in Borderlands, at least, when she was locked down for the coof, she immersed herself in all of that super cringy lore of Borderlands and actually went through with filming that project, which, again, shout out to her for that, completely and totally unaware of the scale and scope of video games, but did her job because of it, and I'll give her props for that. It didn't make Borderlands a better movie at all whatsoever, but Gabrielle, being the, leading the tentpole game for Sony when it eventually does come out, because Naughty Dog is still one of their internally very highly respected studios, so you would think that, a little bit of elbow grease would be applied to this, but okay, with the medium, never stepped into it before, so I don't want to put one thing in my mind and expecting it's going to be this way, and when it's not, and then it's unpredicted, or take it too lightly. In current, yes, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet is yet to receive an official release date, and haven't really seen any follow-up marketing. Maybe we'll get something, during Summer Games Fest. I would be very surprised if we didn't see any follow-up on this, mostly because, we know that Naughty Dog probably isn't going to be working on anything else past this game, and maybe Neil Druckmann, he'll be doubling and quadrupling down on the script for The Last of Us Season 3, but outside of that, man, this is the once great studio's last dying attempt at relevance. And when Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, ultimately does get shat out onto a PS5 or PS6, don't know, I don't care. We're all going to have Abby's expression at that time of release, because holy shit, Neil Druckmann can really only tell one story, and just because this one has a different setting doesn't mean it's going to be any more palatable. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Coswell, and I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.